We're surrounded by all this technology that just works, right? We connect, we stream, we share, and we hardly ever give it a second thought. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on just one piece of that everyday magic: the wireless networks that carry our digital lives right through the air. No, really, just stop and think about it for a second. You're sitting there, maybe in a coffee shop, a library, your own living room, and the entire internet is right there on your screen. No wires in sight. How does that actually happen? What's going on in that invisible space between your device and that little blinking box in the corner? Well, to find the answer, we need to start small. See, the answer to that huge question doesn't start way out there with the global internet. Nope, it starts much, much closer to home. To really understand how we connect to the whole world wirelessly, we first have to understand the small, personal bubble of connectivity that's happening right around us. And okay, why should we even care? Because this technology has completely changed the way we exist. It has untethered us. It's cut the cords from our desks and given us this new kind of freedom and mobility that we pretty much take for granted now. This quote really nails it. It says, "We've become nomads." And you don't have to be traveling the world to be a digital nomad. If you've ever studied out on the campus lawn, worked from a cafe, or just FaceTimed with your family from the backyard, you are living this untethered life. This tech isn't just a convenience. It's become a foundation of our modern mobile world. All right, so how does this all work? The answer really starts with a term you've probably heard a million times: WAN. It just stands for Wireless Local Area Network. Now, to get the wireless part, we first have to get a handle on that local area network piece. So let's build this from the ground up. A local area network, or LAN for short, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a network that is local. It's not the whole internet. It's just the group of devices in one specific, limited space, like your apartment, or a single floor in an office, or the university library, all connected and talking to each other. I love this analogy. It makes it so clear. If your LAN, your local area network, is like your own private apartment, then the WAN, the wide area network, which is basically the internet, that's the entire city. Your LAN is your private controlled space. The WAN is that massive public system of roads and bridges that connects all of our separate little apartments together. Okay, so we've got our digital room, our LAN. How do we cut the cords and make it wireless? Well, it turns out you only really need 3 key things working together to make that magic happen. First up, the wireless host. And this is the easy one. It's you. Well, okay, it's your device. The laptop you might be watching this on, the phone in your pocket, even your smart TV or your gaming console. In network speak, these are called end systems, because they're where we, the end users, run all our applications. Second, we need a base station. And this thing is really the unsung hero of your wireless life. You probably know it as your Wi-Fi router, or maybe you've heard the term access point, or AP. Its job is simple, but absolutely critical. It acts as a relay, a bridge between your wireless device and the wired network that ultimately connects to the internet. And finally, the third key is the wireless link itself. This is the W in WLN. It's the invisible connection, the actual radio waves carrying your data across the room from your laptop, the host, to that router, the base station. It's the cool bit of tech that replaces a physical cable. So we have the 3 T's: your device, the access point, and that invisible link between them. But how does your device find the right access point when there are so many networks out there? It all happens through a quick, invisible process we can think of as a digital handshake. So every single access point creates this kind of bubble of wireless coverage around it. The technical term for this bubble is a basic service set, or BSS, and it's the most fundamental building block of a Wi-Fi network. For any of this to work, your device has to be physically inside one of these bubbles. Simple enough, right? But once you're inside that bubble, there might be multiple networks floating around. So how does your device know which one to talk to? Well, just like meeting someone at a party, it needs to know the network's name. And that brings us to a term you see every single day: the SSID. That stands for Service Set Identifier. You know that list of network names that pops up when you scan for Wi-Fi? Library_guest, my apartment Wi-Fi, coffee shop _net. Yep, those are all SSIDs. It's just the public name tag for each of those network bubbles. So here's how that handshake actually happens. First, your device just listens. All the access points nearby are constantly sending out little signals called beacon frames, basically announcing their name. Your device quietly scans for them and then shows you that list of all the SSIDs it heard. You see the list, you pick one, and your device sends out an association request, which is basically asking, hey, can I join? Then, if everything is okay, the access point sends back a response that says, welcome aboard. And just like that, you're connected. That ask step, by the way, that is exactly where security happens. It's when your device has to provide a password to prove it's allowed in. So we've covered a lot of ground, huh? From this big idea of an untethered life, all the way down to that tiny digital handshake that happens in a blink. As we wrap up, I just want to leave you with one practical little piece of awareness and a final thought. Remember that very first step of the handshake, where your device just listens for networks? Well, anyone can listen. A device that's set up to just record all the data flying by is called a packet sniffer. Now, I'm not saying this to freak you out, but it's why that digital handshake with a password is so important. When you're on a totally open public network, just remember that your data is traveling through a shared space. It's a good reason to be thoughtful about what you're sending over networks you don't control. So the next time you connect to Wi-Fi, just take a moment, look around the room, and really appreciate what's happening. It's not just magic. It's this elegant, invisible architecture of hosts and base stations and links, all performing this delicate little digital handshake just to connect you to the world. It really is the air we connect through.